Bourbonbarkeep, Curtis.
No, great to be here as always, man.
We came up with an episode because we're smart.
Yeah.
And the title just absolutely rolls off the tongue.
You see, it's funny because I forgot already, so you might have to take the reins here.
This is going to be the new
budget,
barrel-proof budget bourbons.
Yeah. Kind of tough to say too. Tough to remember, tough to say.
Yeah. All right. So we've been doing this for a year. I would say about 2 weeks ago, we figured out that we've been doing left to right backwards to you all.
Yeah.
So instead of doing our left hand, which has been fully pleasured at this point, you know, we need to do the right hand.
Yeah, it's going to feel weird for a few weeks. But, you know, ambidextrous, I think, is kind of a desirable trait just in general.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So may as well practice that now.
Yeah. And you know what? It makes you a better person and stronger.
More well-rounded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So starting with the one on the right here.
The right hand.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
We got Green River. This was pretty new this year, obviously.
Yeah.
This was 117.3 proof.
Okay.
It's a blend of 5, 6, and 7-year-old bourbons.
Okay.
At that point. And then we got a mash bill of 70-21-9, so corn, rye, malted barley. Then moving on to Holiday, our neighbors to the, where are they?
They're really directly north of us, really.
Are they?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Afterwards, we'll look at a map.
Yeah.
Too late at that point, but.
Anyways, shout out to Holiday. We like Holiday. We want to see, do they hold up?
Yeah.
So going from 50 SRP to $75 SRP, we'll see, can the budget kind of hang with the big boy of the lineup, if you will. So this one's coming in 117.9 proof, 6 years, all the transparency you could possibly want on the bottle.
They have all the figures on there.
Just love it, love them, love the juice.
Yeah.
It's done well in blinds in the past.
It's done very well.
Can it hold up?
I like to think so,
And
but
then,
we'll see.
maybe the prettiest bottle of them all. Is it just a pretty face? We continue to try and find out. And it continues to say, no, I'm better than just being pretty. I'm like Gosling. I'm funny too.
Yeah, I love that Pepper Decanter series. This is the second batch I've been able to try. This is the 0020. The 0010 was phenomenal.
Yeah, you went back to the well.
So yeah, looking forward to seeing if I like this one as much as I like the last one. And as well, this is a little lighter than the other two at 108 proof.
Yeah.
So does it kind of pack that same punch that you want your barrel proofs to pack? So we'll see.
Yeah. So this one, not age stated, but the average age, 5.5 years.
Okay.
And then this one, mash bill, undisclosed, but it's actually a 4-grain. So you got the corn, rye, malted barley, and malted rye.
Hell yeah, man.
So James E. Pepper's out there just, hey.
Yeah, all the stuff. What's the, sprinkle a little salt off the elbow?
Hey, if I had a mash bill, I could figure out if there was just this much of the malted rye or that much.
Right, but undisclosed, alas.
You know what? Just a sneaky son of a bitch.
So, starting with the right hand this time, man. Excited about it. Nervous, really, for it.
Yeah, I mean...
it's kind of clammy, but...
It's going to kind of feel like the airplane having the drinking problem, the way he just throws water into his ear.
Sure, yeah.
I feel like it's going to be like that.
You sit there with both hands on each...
Maybe.
Just kind of do it like that, almost like a bowl. But.
Maybe. Oh, before we get into the tasting, and then you all can fast forward if you don't give a crap about making money. So for like the first week of the NFL season, we're going to do a free 7-day trial on our Patreon. That's where you do a ton of your bets.
Yeah, we're going to
real-time bets.
We're going to throw some bets in there real time. Patreon allows me to just type the bet and hit send. And then if you are signed up, you get that alert. Yeah, so we're going to do that. We did it last year and did really well.
So you'll get a free of week bets. If it pans out for you, stay signed up.
Sure.
And then you start getting free whiskeys, free Glencairns, free stuff.
Yeah, we'll do that first week of, I guess, second week of September if we want to do NFL week 1.
Yeah,
so.
Something like that. So we'll
good.
be posting somewhere. I don't know where we post at this point. But free 7-day trial, so keep a lookout. So if you don't want to give us money after the 7 days, you can just, for free, like and subscribe as well.
Could do that too.
We'll stick with that. So now.
To you guys, if you've been here before, welcome back. If you have not been here before, if this is your first time, welcome. Like you said, like and subscribe would do wonders for us. This is something that we've been doing for a little over a year now and would like to continue to do so.
Yeah, it's taxing.
So it would help, yeah, for sure. But to you guys, to you, man.
Cheers.
Ooh.
That is caramel apple. I love it.
There's a ton of apple in there. That's awesome.
Caramel apple, a little honey. There's something else. Yep.
I get like a little bit of like peanut butter in here too. Like, you ever had a peanut butter like apple? Like that
Just
dip?
throw some cashews on it.
That dip, yeah.
Yeah. Cheers. Nice cinnamon with the red fruit explosion.
Yeah, that's a
Wow, that's nice.
that's like a hot tamale, Mike and Ike. I guess
still
hot
going.
tamale is different from Mike and Ike, but it's the same shape.
It's like a spicy cousin that hangs around on the palate for a long time. I still just kind of feel like it's settling into the chest.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. I'm here for that.
Yeah, we did grain to glass last week from Heaven Hill, and they were, right around, a couple of them were right around 120 proof. And they were really kind of like laid back and smooth in terms of the actual bite. I mean, this bites back pretty hard.
It's a little smoother on my palate. I get, especially on the second sip, I still get that nice kind of zing on the tip, but it's no longer, the cinnamon is not coating at this point, but overall it's oaky, leather, red fruit, and still kind of a cinnamon, but it's tamed down on the second sip. But man,
I don't know if it's the
finish is
cinnamon.
really good.
Yeah, the finish is great. I don't know if it's the cinnamon that's kind of doing that for me.
Is it just pure spice to where like you're going more cayenne to where there's
That could be too, to where it's like
Maybe.
like just spicy.
Could
you know
be.
what I mean?
That's allowed.
Okay.
I enjoyed that one.
I liked it. I sure did. But yeah, it bit back a little bit.
Hello.
Ooh.
That's maple syrup and dark brown sugar.
A little molasses.
A little mint in there.
Yeah, that's pretty good
A
too.
little chocolate.
That nose is awesome.
Wow. I'm excited for this one too. Just a trip around the fair at this point. I got like this very bright candied fruit. Like I'm going to revisit. I'm going to see if it stays there. It's kind of like a pink starburst.
Really?
Yeah. Like there's still like that darkness. So I don't want to sit there and say, like, I think it was just kind of that jolting. Oh, there's your brown sugar. There's your molasses. And why is there a pink strawberry starburst in there?
That's fair.
That was very bizarre, but very sweet, coming off of glass A1, do we say?
Glass one.
Okay.
Right? 1A.
You know, when you sip the glass and go back to the nose, like new stuff can come out or it just accentuates other things. I'm still not getting the starburst, so I'm really curious if that's on sip two.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of like a freshly mowed grass coming out along with this dark sweetness.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a turnoff. This time it's kind of like, wow, this is a beautiful spring day. I'm really happy I mowed.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's a satisfying, freshly cut grass.
Yeah. It's like you've just, kind of awoken from your winter, and this is like your first nice, chilly Saturday morning mow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. Yeah, I do kind of get just like a blast of like artificial sweetness in there for like your pink starburst.
Right?
Yeah. It's
weird.
It's kind of like, I don't know. I kind of like it. Like it adds like one more little layer, like an onion.
I do really like it. My mint from the nose kind of translated into more of a spearmint.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it has like a kind of a unique element to it that I wasn't really expecting, especially from the nose. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of here for the pink starburst right now.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that on a pour yet.
Glass 3.
This smells like a rick house.
Sure.
Like you kind of get the wood, but not oak. You kind of get the hay. You kind of get the outdoorsiness.
Yeah.
Coming
This is
from the last two glasses, I get less sweetness, but I don't know if it's the roller coaster of emotions that this flight has kind of put me on.
Sure. Yeah, this is more similar to glass 2 than to glass 1 in terms of nose. Like I still get that caramel brown sugar, that kind of traditional barrel proof vibe.
I get like this is going to sound like so pretentious, but I feel like it kind of goes like honeycomb. So you kind of get the honey, but like there's a pastry,
Yeah.
for lack of a better. I'm not a scientist, But
I do kind of get that like breadiness for sure.
Breadiness was so much better than the pastry of the bee.
The honeycomb pastry?
Yeah, that could have been better.
Man.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. That honey continues for me, especially on the finish.
Ooh, there's the darkness. There's the darkness. I was wondering where the heat was. Because, I mean, they're all relatively higher proof. This one I feel like has a respectable proof that I actually really enjoy. There was no burn, and then it kicked in.
Yeah, at the very like last second, it kind of went from honey more into like a leathery, not really tobacco, but kind of just like a leather finish for sure.
Yeah, I do get the most rye, which I have gone out on a ledge before. I will not tonight, unless I go through a round 2 or 3. Then we get a little more bold.
Yeah, you get a little comfortable.
This is the most rye I've picked up.
Yeah, I can see that.
This has rye in it, so.
They all have rye in it, to be fair, right? This is the 4
malted
grain.
rye, yeah. This is the most rye, and I get more of a nice mint, still chocolate, molasses. The nose did not translate to the palate to where it's a really nice, dark, rich nose that I really like.
Sure. What we'll do is just run through once more, kind of off camera, just collect our thoughts, finalize our opinions, if you will, and then we'll grade, and we'll come back and kind of discuss our grades, crown a winner, and wrap up after that, if that's cool with you guys. I guess they can't really object.
They can't, they just do that.
Yeah, but 2 days late.
That's true.
So
it still hurts.
yeah, fair enough. All right, be right back. Alrighty. The book has spoken. I've, I guess, put the figures into the book, so we've spoken.
Yeah.
And we have found our winner. First and foremost, though, let's kind of summarize our final thoughts.
Yep.
Starting with glass 1 here on the right. For me, nose is fantastic.
Okay.
The finish is the best of the 3 relatively easily, in my opinion, as well. It did have a little bit of a spiciness to it that I wasn't really expecting. It kind of like almost bridged the gap between cinnamon to like a cayenne, like a crushed red pepper, almost. So that's kind of the only really knock that I had, and I might just be in the midst of summer and ready to be done with it, and that might be really, really awesome come like November. So we'll see about that. But glass 1, did you have any final thoughts?
No, nothing new. There were no new notes that came out. I think the scoring will kind of speak volumes into how we kind of felt about glass 1, but overall I thought that was the best experience of the 3.
Okay.
But doesn't mean that it scored the best.
We might have a upset brewing, if you will. Glass 2.
That nose was unfair. Like it was like watching Barry Bonds on steroids.
Sure.
Where you're like, you're already really good. Why do we need to be perfect baseball player?
Yeah, we talked. It's like just the quintessential nose of a bourbon. You have your maples, your caramels, your brown sugars, and they blend so well. It's exactly what you want if you're pouring a bourbon. Yeah, it's exactly what you want.
Wish I could take a bath in it. Glass 3. We have had all of these bourbons a few times at this point.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced those notes from whatever bottle that was so far. So this one's probably the wild card of them all because I wasn't really expecting it. It was a great drinking experience.
Sure.
Was I here for like molasses and wet grass tonight? No. But I also know that these have scored really well in the past. So it could just be tonight.
Yeah, it could be. Like you mentioned the wet grass. I definitely got that as well.
Which is always a weird note because you're like, that sounds like something I don't want to ingest, but it does smell good when it's whiskey.
A freshly mowed lawn is one of life's greatest joys, really. So, I mean, if you want to look at it through that lens, that might be, might be a positive, might be a plus. But okay, so without further ado, let's do it, man.
Yeah, let's do it. I feel like we need to. Nothing says how we feel about the bottles more than the score.
Sure, that's right. We'll start with 3rd place and then count down. 3rd place with an average score of 76. So that's right in the middle of the good stuff, a great score.
Yeah.
And I'll flash our categories up on the screen. If you've been here before, you kind of know this deal, but we have categories that help us kind of differentiate between bottles and help us quantify our numbers.
Yeah.
76.
76.
That is glass number 3.
Okay. Freshie Mo.
That is the Green River. That was kind of our suspicion. It had the most rice spice in there. It had the most herbal kind of tinge to it, if you will, as well.
This has done so well in a couple blinds at this point. Yeah. I enjoy pouring it as kind of like the get the party going. This is my rare breed for a lot of people. And it didn't hit me right tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
All right. Let's just crown our winner now, because if we unveil second place, then we'd know first anyway, and that's not as exciting.
That's true.
So barely edging out our second place finisher, 81.5, 281. Half point decided this one. 81.5, glass number 2 takes it home.
Wow.
Yeah. We have our James Pepper Decanter Series.
Wow. All right. What did you score?
So
because this was my second glass.
Yep. And I had an 83 for the pepper. And I had...
Oh, you went for it.
I had a 78 for what now we can unveil as our holiday.
Yeah. So that spice of the holiday just held you back a bit.
It just took a couple points off. Yeah, it bit back a little too hard for me tonight, and that could change, like I said, in a few months when it cools off weather-wise.
Yeah.
It went closer toward the crushed red pepper cayenne than that natural cinnamon flavor, which didn't love it tonight, but every other element of that bourbon was awesome.
Yeah, I think just my experience from front to back with holiday now, I think I was, 83?
Yeah, you were 83.
So we tied in terms of what we appreciated glass-wise. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. That 108, at least for the batch 02 for pepper, is fantastic. It did hold it back in terms of putting it against the other two glasses.
It was the softest swinger for sure. But you've talked about...
It's the smoothest too, though.
You've talked about how your wheelhouse has been that 107 to 115 range, and that...
Yeah, and this one's 117.9, call it 118, so just above that, to where it's going to come off hot to some people.
Sure.
But that pepper, I mean, that is just...
If you're trying to just...
sweetness to a T.
Yeah, if you're trying to find just your perfect, like, what tastes like bourbon but tastes better than every other bourbon, James Pepper, if that made any sense.
And then you just add maple syrup to it. So we're not scoring bang for the buck tonight. Does the bang for the buck change anything in terms of what you're picking up at the store?
I mean, yeah, if you're going to tell me I can walk out with one bottle and you're putting the Green River at 50, 60, 75, I'm probably picking the pepper. I think it's $10 better than the Green River. But to make my own question to answer, I'm buying all three. Like, those are all three great bangs for the buck.
I will reach up if I don't need a quantity of bottles. I mean, if I just want one bottle and boom, 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 I could see Green River having a spot.
Yeah.
Holiday, if I don't need bottles and I just want that kind of heat, this is not close. Like, this is much better than Green River for my palate.
Sure.
Pepper, on the other hand, I think I would still pay up if I didn't own any of the three, but I'm kind of with you to where if I walk into the liquor store, I don't think there's a wrong answer, which was making the scoring extremely difficult.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the Green River being $25 less than Holiday should matter, and it does.
It should.
For most, so.
Yeah, it will matter to a lot of people. You all see the collection. Maybe that makes me a little more biased, but the experience that I had tonight, I just don't, there's not a lot that can hold a candle to Holiday, especially at 75.
Sure.
Take that for what it is.
Cheers, guys. Thanks again for being here. One more time, if you could help us out and subscribe, we're trying to continue to do this for a while, so it's a lot of fun thus far.
That too.
Yeah. Cheers, man.